Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, and welcome to yet another session of EU Business Talks. My name is Ante Milevoj. Our guest of honor today is Mr. Normunds Bergs, CEO at SAF Tehnika, based in Riga, Latvia. Normunds, good afternoon to you too, and thank you for your time.
Good afternoon, Ante. Good afternoon, everybody.
So before we were talking shortly, I was saying that it is obviously a multitasking day for every one of us. It's 2 p.m. here, it's 3 p.m. in Latvia, I guess. So how was your day so far?
As always, busy, but today we have a first day of snow in Riga. So
Okay.
I had to run to one meeting like 2 kilometers, and it took 10 minutes more, because of snow. And before, last time we forgot how to walk on slippery pathways. So it's challenging, but I managed it in one piece.
Let's keep some idealism from our childhood, I remember still when I see, by the way, it snowed in our country as well yesterday. When I woke up, I felt like a small kid. What about you?
Have no time to think about it yet. In the evening, maybe.
Okay, so does that mean, Normunds, you are more or less working 10 to 15 hours a day, every day of the week?
Negative. I took as a law that I'm not working on weekends.
Okay.
So weekends are civilized. But normally, I think 10 hours working day is all that.
When do you start with your morning coffee? 7 a.m.?
6.
6?
6.
Oh my goodness. And your app starts to singing 6 a.m. as well?
No.
Later?
No, later. Later.
Anyway, dear friends, Normunds is from Riga, Latvia. Are you talking with us from your headquarters in Riga?
I am talking from my home office.
Okay.
Our headquarters is, manufacturing, and it's forbidden for everybody who is not in manufacturing to go to office.
Okay, but home office, home sweet home for you, is it the city, Riga, or elsewhere?
It's city mostly.
Okay, great. Normunds, let us start with some basic impression of yours regarding your country, Latvia. How are you doing lately, economy-wise? Are you suffering from, again, economy-wise from COVID, or you are somehow passing by as a country, as economy?
If we are speaking today I hear a lot of helicopters and a lot of sirens because we have 30 ministers of foreign affairs in Riga today because of NATO summit. So we feel very, very busy if you go outside in the city center. But if we talk about economy,
it could be better.
Of course, you always, again, it depends where you sit. If you are in hospitality business, then it could be much better. But again, the big hotels in Riga were suffering. Well, last year, everything was standstill, right? But to big surprise, all small country hostels, and all hospitality in countryside were booming, because local people saw if international travel was forbidden or severely restricted, the local tourism and local service were having very good year. So, and this is true for last 2 years. Only the ones who are doing international service are suffering. Of course, transport is suffering, and again, industry is doing very, very well. So
Okay.
it's mixed. It's mixed.
But what's the ratio between industry or manufacturing and services? Is it like 60-40 or?
You can calculate in a different ways. I am trying to open some data, and I think it says that GDP fall last year due to COVID was something like 3%, and it regained back in this year. So you can calculate in different ways the balance, but it seems that growth in manufacturing sector was bigger than whole in service sector.
Okay. Normans, you are in the very nice piece of European Union, northeast part. So we are sitting in the same boat as far as EU is concerned. As a matter of fact, this chat is called EU Business Talks. So how do you see business-wise European Union today and tomorrow from up there?
I think it's very interesting and challenging times. And I think that a lot of manufacturing is moving back to EU. It's true also for United States. So the idea that somebody in faraway countries will manufacture everything for you and somehow magically it will arrive at your doorstep, two things: politics, meaning EU and US-China politics, or rather saying Chinese politics. And pandemics, of course, changed a lot. And especially in electronics sector, so I'm representing electronics sector. And for a perfect storm, we have third component, and this is shortage of all sorts of semiconductors, and not only semiconductors, all sorts of components, because business is booming. So we have a number of factories here in Latvia, which had more orders than any time in their history, but at the same time they are stand still because of lack of components. So it's very challenging. Yeah.
So honeymoons are over, I guess, at least from this point of view. We are moving the East back to us as much as possible. In terms of your main markets, Normans, again, as a country, as Latvia, is it fair to say European Union is your prime export market?
Again, it depends on which chair you sit. If you are generalizing, like countries exports, then probably yes, EU is the main. But again, it's changing from industry to industry. Yes. It can be US, it can be all sorts of former Soviet Union part, Middle Asia, and even Africa. So it's very diverse.
As I guess it is in your case as well. Dear friends, dear Normans, let me reread the invite that I've shared earlier with all of you. So Normans is the CEO of SAF Technica, unique manufacturer of point-to-point microwave data transmission equipment. It had become a globally rich company within just a decade, covering all relevant market segments and deploying its products in more than 1 countries worldwide. Wow, compliments for that. But let me start with the first things first. Manufacturer of point-to-point microwave data transmission equipment. Can you please explain it to somebody who doesn't know what this is?
Yeah, this is funny thing in being in very deep in industries. Everybody of you are using, most probably are using, and 100% have used our equipment without knowing it, because point-to-point microwaves are used in mobile telecommunication operators, and they use those radios to interconnect base stations. So when you drive along the road, you see time by time those mobile towers. And on those mobile towers, you see those dish-like antennas.
Yeah.
So this is microwave radios.
And
with some probability, our radios are attached to those dish-like antennas.
Okay. Is it a very niche market of yours? Do you have many competition around the world?
We don't have many. We have always been, almost from day one, we have been in first 10th, but our competition is like little known companies like Nokia, like Ericsson, like Siemens, like Alcatel, like NEC. So it's
So
we are fighting in big boys league. Yeah, but somehow we survive.
who are your customers then? Or the national telecoms?
Initially, it were national telecoms. We were very big in India, believe me or not. We were very big in China, believe me or not, but that was like 10 years ago. We were having a lot of customers throughout Africa, but nowadays we are more in specialized niches, mostly in EU, Australia, and United States. So,
When you
for instance, we are number one in low latency radios. So every high frequency trader, those stock exchange brokers, are using our radios. We are quite a big and strong in TV broadcasting. So most of American TV stations are using our radios. So it's like, again, there are different niches.
What is, Normans, what is the life circle of your products? Is it a matter of couple of years or, I mean, otherwise you would be out of the business if you would be selling once per 10 years, I guess.
MTBF of normal microwave radio is 100 years. So it's telecom grade equipment. It's supposed you install and forget. It's just work as piece of cable. But in real life, how the life cycle of networks, it's probably it's like 15 years. But good thing is that telecom networks are expanding. So there are still many underserved populations also in very developed countries. If you know drive somewhere in the middle of America, you can have very poor coverage. The same is true also for Europe. It's
Okay.
not like it. There is a lot of room, and of course, with COVID and with the sad fact that many of us had to sit home, and talk to that screen as we are doing now. The necessity for bandwidth, for higher data speeds are all the time growing. So different technologies.
What is your approach to a particular market, Normans? Are you picking up one and only exclusive representative party or distributor, and then they're addressing your end user locally, or what do you do?
No, it's very mixed. It's very mixed. It's usually we have a number of partners per country, and usually those partners cover different niches. It's not that much geography. It's more about competence, about the end user, about the business case, about the needs of end users.
What about loyalty? Are your customers staying with you, or they are sweeping between your competitors as well?
I would say they are quite loyal.
Okay.
I think it's sales are the ones who are serving the first equipment, and service is selling second, third, and others. And it's challenging to compete with all the big players in the niche. So you have to have a good quality of equipment, and you have to have even better quality of service. And this is how we are.
Do you need to address your customers in person? So meaning, are you traveling a lot if you are selling to 100 plus markets or countries? How big is your selling team?
140. It's not very big. It's somewhat like 30 people. And yes, we were traveling a lot. So we are starting again slowly now. But we were traveling a lot, and it's mostly different sorts of conferences and business shows. So those are places you meet, and it's worth to mention also that in last 4 years. So we started one more product line, and this is sensors. We are now also quite a big in design and manufacturing of different sorts of sensors. And so that gadget I'm showing you is our currently best-selling product. It's selling better than microwave radios. And this is portable CO2 meter. It measures CO2 in the room. And
Is it already on your website?
It's on our website already for 3 years, and now it's going as a hot pies. And reason being that it's connected with COVID safety, because COVID is airborne infection, means that you catch that by inhaling a commonly used air. And in order to, and this is indoor disease mostly, so you catch it indoor. And to be safe, to keep indoors healthy, you have to ventilate, in order to take all possible viruses away, you have to ventilate. And this is difficult to measure the content of virus in the room, but this is quite an easy to measure a CO2 content in the room, which means that this is gas which is exhaled by other persons.
Can I buy it on shelf in a retail chain?
No, you can buy on our website, but if you buy today, most probably you will receive it by tomorrow or by 48 hours. Yeah.
What would be the retail price? I mean, for one piece?
200 euros plus local taxes.
Okay, fair enough. So Normans, we already have a couple of questions in our chat box. Let's go question by question forward. First one is from Tomasz, asking which export markets are on the primary list for your company at this moment. What are your top 5 markets, Normans?
Top 5. It depends which business. If that is radio business, then I can say it's all 140 countries we are active. We don't sell in North Korea, we don't sell in Syria, and we sell very poorly in South Pacific Islands. But the rest is like, project-based. You cannot say it in that way. But if you want to name one, then this is United States of America. As for sensors, it's UK, it's Ireland, it's France, it's Belgium. Again, it's United States.
Okay. The next
Australia. Don't forget also. Australia. And New Zealand. Got a big order from New Zealand yesterday.
Well, congratulations for that.
Thank you.
Francis with us also. Hi, Franz. Good to see you. Do you need special frequencies approved from governments for your equipment, Normans? You do? Is this part of your job or your customer's job?
No, it's part of our job. It's let's say it's most depressing thing, because in each and every EU happily we have one rule. You do a registration once and then you are free to sell to every place. But the rest of the world have, those people in regulators and ministries are extremely creative in asking you different sorts of papers. Yeah, it's a big part of our expense. So it's do all type approvals or homologations and all paperwork. Yeah, it could take half a year, to register something in India or in Brazil.
Be careful, Normans, because there are friends here in the room from these 2 countries as well.
I have many friends there, but it doesn't change bureaucracy. I think those people know very well how it works.
Yes, of course. So you have special colleague of yours who are dealing with this stuff only to get papers, lobbying, etc.
Yeah, we have a number of people, so it's not one. It's more than one person's job.
Okay. The next one from France is transfer only for voice or also for pictures possible?
You mean microwave radios? Yeah, of course, it's data transmission equipment. So in the data, you can put everything. You can put a voice, you can put an image, you can put a 3D image, whatever. It's
Okay.
transparent.
Okay, so then because I know the essence of Fran's questions, so let me ask you, are you working in Sudan with your products already?
I think we had some partners in Sudan during last years. I don't know the actual status as of now.
Okay.
But if there is interest, just let me know. We will. It's like, it's more about, again, as I said, it's not that much about the particular geography. It's more about the project, meaning that, if there is a particular sort of customer looking for solution,
then you adapt and you
it.
work. Yeah.
Correct.
Vivek is with us from India, Normunds. He will be your next good friend from this country, and he can relate to what you were saying on I guess, on India businessmen, businesswomen. So that's a comment only. Martin is with us from France. Hi, Martin, good to see you. I see your smile also, so you are the one. So, travel ban from Southern Africa. Will you going to expand in Africa? Normans, can you comment on that?
We were, in South Africa, we were having quite a number and regular and returning customers. We were going to that trade show in Cape Town every year. Of course, current travel, but it doesn't help, but it doesn't hurt as of yet also. So and I think it's temporary. I do think that world will learn pretty soon, and that the travel ban will be lifted. So
okay. So you have to show your brand also at exhibitions globally just to be seen, correct?
Yeah, correct. We are traveling circus. We do have, at least 5 to 6 trade shows monthly. So we always have some show equipment somewhere, in transit. Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty big part.
Can you go a little bit up in the chat box, so just so I can catch the question from Vivek? For sensors, he's asking, Normans, the application mainly home or office, or can be also industrial, or in mines, he asks, underground utilities, or even submarines. What's the application wideness of your products?
Yeah, it's a very good question. Thank you. We let's say initially we are in industrial applications. So it's horticulture. It's all sorts of greenhouses. We are very proficient in greenhouse sensor portfolio. Then it's food chain. It's cold chain, and then it's farming, meaning livestock like chicken and pig farming, indoor farming. So there are quite a specifics. Mines are a good example. We are currently having a project together with Sandvik. And in mine, again, it depends from application to application. But there are parameters which can be measured quite successfully also in confined spaces. Have not been in submarines, but happily in cruise ships. Cruise ships are also a nice place to measure different things. But it's quick, just in one word, industrial. It's industrial. But can be used in home as this one. Yeah.
Okay, let me re-ask also the next comment from Martin. Does this new variant of COVID influences your business in any way? No.
Not yet. Not yet.
Tomasz is asking, where is where is presence of your company? US, Germany, France, Canada, Australia. I don't think I get the question, but I guess maybe he's asking what kind of customers do you have in all these countries?
Yeah, all sorts
it-
of customers. In US we have like 20 people office in Denver. So South America is located in Denver, and that is pretty big team. We do have 2 persons in Germany, 2 persons in France, 1 person in Canada, 3 persons in Australia, and I think 1 person in UK. So those ones, except of Australia, are working from home offices.
Okay. Another one from Vivek. Do you have sensors for CO2 or also other gases?
So this is CO2 sensor, but yeah, we do have also sensors for other gases, but then we need more detailed discussion about that. You can find the basic information on our sensor website, which is aranet.com. So I typed it into the chat.
Yes, you did. And before, it's already 29 minutes past the hour, Normans. We were quick, which means that you were good. So let me ask you last couple of questions. Are there any plans for company expansion growth? Let me rephrase it. Where will you be in 5 years' time? If you are growing that crazy in first 10 years, where will you be after 15?
You know, nobody knows, but I think, you know, to grow to $500 million a year, it's achievable. Market is there, and we have technology.
Perfect. Just out of curiosity, Normans, it's a personal question. Are you doing anything with Slovenia? You're not sure.
Yeah, well, I had a boat from Slovenia. I had a Green Line boat, you know. I have been in Slovenia many times. So
you know Lake Bled even better than I do then.
no, that would be too loud. No. But
Normans, you were a great guest, so I'm sure the people here in the room, our friends, got the basic understanding what you do. And with your approval, I will send a nice follow-up email to all of them, and you will get a copy, and then they will, most probably, they will be contacting you, at least for sure. Vivek from India, he will, that's for sure. But before we go off, Normans, there are 2 more things. First of all, you are working very much. I see that, I sense that, but what is your private life about, Normans, when you're not working?
you know, private life. Nicest thing about private life is that it is private. So you don't talk that much about it. But well, I like to go to alpine skiing, and it's good that Alps are not that far away from Latvia, and mountains are not that far away from Denver, where our US office is.
Okay,
Little bit of boating, and you know, during pandemics, you know, best thing is that you can, you know, walk around a little, you know, out from endless virtual meetings.
It's a good reply, Normans. There is no right and wrong answer on this, and I like that the first thing you said, the private should remain private. It's a good reply. I compliment you on that. Dear friends, it's 32 minutes past the hour. Normans, thank you very much for your input on this room. Our friends, I give you the last 10-15 seconds to you to address our friends in any way you want. Please
Thank
go
you
ahead.
for your patience and thank you for your time and thank you for being with me.
Thank you, Normans. All the best. At the very end, I would like to thank also my colleague from Latvian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Martin Sperts, who was kind enough to connect me with Normans, and he's also over there. Martin, thank you very much for your part into today's session as well. That's it, dear friends. Normans has a lot of snow. We have it here as well. I'm not sure whether Normans we will go skiing today, but at least we will show some idealism and do some crazy children stuff. I wish you all a nice day forward. And for the next week I will be having, or we will be having, our next guest, Henrik Burnay, managing partner at EU Opportunity from Lisbon, Portugal. Until that time, stay safe, enjoy, and bye-bye.